Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Castries in St. Lucia. Castries is the capital of St. Lucia. I've highlighted here the Castries district, but we're pretty much only going to be talking about the city here because the rest of this district is mostly just forest. The island has a spine of mountains going down it, and they extend into about this area here. Then it slopes down to the coast here along the Caribbean. Castries is on a natural deep port harbor, so really big ships can dock there safely. It's made naturally due to an ancient volcanic eruption. It slid down there and created the big bay there. See Port Castries right there. Now, St. Lucia is a pretty tiny island, and this is a tiny area, so there's not much else geography to discuss. But we will look at a little bit more on Google Earth. There's beaches all down here, and it's lovely. We'll take a look. So the history of Castries. The island was originally inhabited by a few indigenous peoples, mainly the Arawak and the Carib. Now the Carib peoples, which the Caribbean is named after, have a reputation in history for being incredibly violent and very aggressive. They chased off many of the Arawak peoples out of their land, and when the Europeans arrived, they weren't too friendly. They were pretty aggressive, and that was true here in the Bay. When the first Europeans arrived, they were actually French. It's usually Spanish around this time. It was 1502, but they were French sailors that came in. The Carib chased them off. But slowly but surely, the French would return and subjugate the peoples here, mainly through spreading disease and capturing them and sending them off to other plantations and islands in the Caribbean that they claimed. The actual town was established in 1650. It was named Carenage, however, not Castries. The name would change in 1785 when it was renamed after the Marquis of Castries. Around this time, sugar plantations were very popular in the island here. And of course, people from Africa were kidnapped and brought over here to work on those sugar plantations, which has left a legacy in St. Lucia since I think 97% of the population, I think I read that. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what I read. 97% of the population descend from those Africans that were brought here. Now, St. Lucia has an interesting little history in that the British would come and capture it. The French would take it back. The British would come. The French would come. It changed hands about 14 times, but it became permanent in 1814. Well, not permanent because it's not there, but the last takeover would be by the British in 1814. And they would hold on to the island until it achieved independence. And therefore bringing English onto the island, but a Creole is still widely spoken today based on French and Caribbean dialects. Now, an interesting event occurred here during World War II. In 1942, German U-boats sailed into the harbor here and attacked the ships here and even sank one, I believe. Now, this port is so deep that the British could park their warships here. So that's what the Germans were going after. So St. Lucia actually saw conflict during World War II. Not many Caribbean places can claim that. There was a very tragic event here in Castries in 1948 when a fire broke out. There had been a few fires in Castries' history, but this fire destroyed 80% of the city. Amazingly, no casualties, but many, many, many homes were lost at that time, and the city had to completely rebuild. At this time, a young man lived here named Derek Walcott, and this period of time after the fire inspired him to write, and I believe it was his first novel was written about this time in Castries. He would eventually go on to win a Nobel Prize in Literature. And you will see in a minute, and I get the tablet, Derek Walcott Park, and his house is now a museum. Very beloved figure in Castries and St. Lucia due to that Nobel Prize and due to his various works. I think he wrote fiction and poetry, I believe. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm pretty sure. Today, Castries is the largest city in St. Lucia, but that does not mean that it is like a gigantic, bustling metropolis by any means. It is small and quaint. It is a docking point for many cruise ships, so there's a lot of touristy attractions, not just in Castries, but throughout St. Lucia. They're very tourist-friendly in this island. And, yeah, it seems just like a very easygoing place here, which is quite nice, isn't it? That's pretty much the history that I have for you in Castries. There's a couple things to show you on Google Earth. Not much, but it's still nice, and it's still a capital city, right? Don't get to talk about capital cities every day. It feels like it's pretty often on this channel. It's a lot of C's around the world for capital cities. But I think this is the last one for a while that we'll talk about in terms of capital cities. But without further ado, let me grab my tablet and we will look at beautiful Castries on beautiful, beautiful St. Lucia. Let's go. Here we are in the Castries district. Now let's of course start by zooming out so you can see exactly where we are in the world. Here's St. Lucia, part of the Windward Islands. Let me show you. Here's the Caribbean. These are the Windward Islands down here. All these little ones that make a big curve around with Barbados sticking out there. You can see Venezuela is not too terribly far off, with Puerto Rico just up there. There's the Atlantic Ocean on this side and the Caribbean Sea on that side. We are between Martinique, which is still part of France, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. There's Barbados over there, just hanging out. But yeah, here is St. Lucia, the only country in the world named after a woman. Unless you count Ireland, it's named after a goddess, but this was named after an actual woman. So, I guess we should start over here in Castries, shouldn't we? You can see the main airport here, named after George Charles, who was the first head of state of St. Lucia. So if you fly in, you come in right to the city there. From what I've read, this is the most popular beach, and I think it's pronounced Vici Beach. I believe. And it's stunning, of course, because we're in the Caribbean and they're on St. Lucia. Big waves, wonderful sand. You can do horseback riding and boogie boarding, I guess, on the waves, or just swim around. That's what I would be doing right in the sand to St. Lucia. The little sun, the little palm tree, very good art. You can get snacks on the beach and drinks and enjoy the beautiful view of the Caribbean Sea, because this is the Caribbean side, right? Not the Atlantic side. So you can see the Caribbean. Look how beautiful. Feel the sand between your toes. Enjoy it at night. Just relax. See the little toes there. Relax and enjoy the beach. It's a little lighthouse over here. And by little, I mean very little. It's quite tiny. Can you see, like, there's a person and there's the lighthouse. When you think lighthouse, you think like big towers, the big spiral stairs going up. This is about like one floor. But it still is a great view of the bay here, the ocean, and the town around it. That's lovely. You can see the ports over here, cruise port right there. Here's the harbor. Take a look at that. You can see more big cruise ships docking there. There's a big tourist industry in St. Lucia. They've really embraced tourism in terms of there's the Pitons. Of course, that's the most famous site in St. Lucia. It's much further down the coast. There's Carnival, some beautiful floats, beautiful sunset there. But yeah, there's all kinds of attractions to visit, all kinds of shopping, the beaches, of course. They've got all kinds of little fun touristy gimmicks, like a drive-through volcano, stuff that you can't miss when you're there. Now, I read that it says minor basilica, so I guess you could just say church. But this is apparently the largest cathedral in the Caribbean, I read. And I don't know if I believe that. I feel like surely there's a church in Puerto Rico or Cuba or Haiti that's bigger than this. But it's so pretty. I love these colors, the green and pink. And the beautiful painted ceilings as well, and that wood, the chandeliers, it's lovely. So, maybe it is. I don't know, I just read that and I went really? In St. Lucia? I would have never ever guessed. But yeah, you can see it's Catholic. You saw the baptismal little area there. Of course, basilica, which means it's a Catholic church. But it's very Caribbean style, isn't it? With this bright green and the gold together. Very colorful. The pink accents and the green. I love it. It's so vivid. And so I don't know, it's giving that air of calm and serenity that big cathedrals have, but in this very colorful building. So it's very interesting there. Just across the way is Derek Walcott Square. For some reason, that was very hard to say. Doesn't want to highlight. I think there's a better slideshow. Yep, there we go. No, come back, please. Thank you. Still doesn't want to pop up. There we go. Derek Walcott Square. There he is. Derek Walcott Square. This used to be called Columbus Square. Thankfully, they've renamed it. You can read about him there. Definitely the most beloved author. See, look at this view of the church. That's so cool. I love all the colors. It's beautiful. Definitely, like I was saying, the most beloved author in St. Lucia, by far. Oh, my cat's crying. Ignore her. They're having a sweet 16 there. Oh, happy birthday. Love the pink on you. Perfect, perfect. Good birthday color. Bright pink, isn't it? Let's see. The Derek Walcott house. Let me see if I can remember where it is. It's somewhere right here. Here's his cute little house. It's cute as a button. Just like this little right there. I think that's an old plantation there. There's a couple of old plantations around. I'll show you one right after this. Okay. Some interesting photos here. I guess that's the house. But I think that's the house, so I don't know what that house was. Okay. Oh, I think that's the back of the house is what it is, and that's the front. I see. Now it makes sense. This is the front, and then it's from the side. Yeah. Well, it's pretty much bigger than it looked from that first picture. So yes, now it is a museum. You can see a timeline there. Maybe that's just the building that's next door to it. You can take a guided tour. Open Monday through Friday. Plan your trip accordingly. I I read a lot about how this mountain over here has a fortress at the top, and I can't find it, and I have searched all over, and then I read that they're ruins. So maybe that's why it's not tagged, but just know that somewhere on this mountain here was once a fort that you can apparently tour. I was kind of hoping that it would magically just pop up for us here, but I don't know where it is. There's a construction company, so that's not what we're looking for. There's a school. So maybe it's the ruins that you tour. I don't know, but I read a lot about come tour the old fortress, and I'm like, what? Where is this fortress? I have no idea. Let's see if I can show you this old house. I didn't read up about it, but it looks like you can do tours of this historic house. The roof definitely has seen better days. It's like an aluminum roof, but the house is very cute, isn't it? Looks like they do maybe some art classes there. A little garden. Some cool art. Looks like it's a little, maybe it's just a museum. Maybe they don't just do art classes. I don't know. Look at all this. Yeah, it's still a pretty building, isn't it? Look at this shop here. All these neat clothes, I think, for sale. That guy's enjoying himself. It's a beautiful garden. Beautiful viewpoint. It's definitely something. And then I found this place, the Pink Plantation, which apparently was once upon a time a plantation, but now is a little restaurant. Some interesting food there. What is that? Like peppers, I guess maybe chicken? I'd eat it, but I just didn't know what that thing was. Looks like peppers. Beautiful tropical garden there. There's the Pink Plantation. Now it's all pretty. Big staircase going up. It'll have a much happier history from now on. Interesting meals here. Ooh, see, now this looks more my style. Some little good snacks. Ooh, nice little room. I guess you can stay here maybe. That's pretty neat. Alright, what else did I need to show you? You can see various resorts along there. I showed you the beach. You can see that there's other beaches, but you've kind of seen one. You've seen them all. Yeah, I tried to look up here in the mountains, but I didn't really find anything to show you. But it's big, lush, beautiful tropical mountains. This isn't really the region to go to explore the mountains. That would be more over here on this side, and then down here at the Pitons. Yeah, there's more to do over here up in the mountains. Not so much on this side, from what I've seen at least. So I think I'm going to end it there. I think that's all that I have to show you. But if you've been to Castries or St. Lucia and want to recommend other things to look at, let us know in the comments down below, and we'll check them out for ourselves in our own free time. As always, I always recommend that you go to these places for yourself on Google Earth and see what you can find. But that is it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I love this pyramid. I wonder if it's like a guest house or something. I don't know. You can rent out. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing. Look at all these flags. Goodness, there's St. Lucia's flag right there. What? It's a rowboat, but it's invisible. That's a neat statue. Big cliffs there. The big, beautiful Castries. There's the Piton. That's Gros Piton, I think. Very iconic mountains in the Caribbean and St. Lucia. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational. I just remembered something else to show you right at that moment, if it will let me show you. Cinderella's slipper. Look at, do you see it? How fun is that? But yeah, I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational. And I hope that you have a good night. Good night.